Hello, I'm Lady Loy, and if you want to listen to hear me play on Fridays, I tend to play nostalgic vibes, but sometimes I inject a little of the rough with the smooth. And on Saturdays, I play on Gold Standard Radio 7 till 9 on my roller coaster show. Now, today I wanted to talk about why women hesitate to get into the dating game, hesitate about getting in back into relationships. And it's not so much about bitterness or fear or insecurity or all of those kind of alarm bells. It's about what are they getting into? What are they not being told up front? Now, one of my male friends told me it's salesmanship. He said to me that if a man doesn't sell himself, he's not going to get the woman that he wants. So what they do is they embellish the truth, they lie by omission, they create an image of themselves that they know that the woman wants to see, and that's what they do. And so, and especially those who try to lure women into liking them so much that they have sex with them, knowing that from a moral compass point of view, once a woman has sex with a person, she's not really gonna say to him the next day, "Oh, I found out this or I found out that, so I'm not gonna deal with you anymore." So women are left in a quandary. So when, well, I know a woman, she met this guy and he said all the things she wanted to hear. She was working on a book and he reckoned he could design the covers, and he knew this contact and he knew that contact. And then he was trying to lure her in, obviously, and they started dating. And he said, "Look, I'm paying £800 a month rent where I'm living now. I'm more than happy to give you that £800 a month for rent, and if I come and live with you." So the woman's thinking, "Oh, I like him. We get on well. That £800 would come in handy." And so she's lured in. And you could say, fool. You let money fool you. But that in particular woman, she thought she was entering into a stable relationship with somebody who had integrity. 2 months down the line, he jacks in the job. And he never, ever gets a job again. No source of income. And that's what I mean. And that was a deliberate act because that individual didn't even have a stable income to begin with. Now, that woman should have done her investigations. She should have checked his track record. But how do you do that? How do you check whether or not a man is telling you the truth? And that is why women are so scared to, well, I can't speak for all women, but a lot of women who are single are so scared to date because they know men lie. And regardless of the reason, I remember a guy was chatting me up once and I asked him if he smoked. And he said yes. I said, "Well, I can't deal with you then." And he said, "I wish I'd lied." But the thing is that he could have lied and maybe it might have worked. Maybe I might have learned to tolerate the smoke, but I would have been so upset that he'd lied and I wouldn't be able to trust him again. So that relationship is doomed to fail anyway. So when men enter relationships, yes, you may not get the woman that you want, but the woman that you need will accept you when you tell them the truth. And unless something's going on in her life, it might just be timing. It might not be the right time to get involved with somebody. You might be trying to kind of get a woman who is not ready for a relationship. You might try to be getting a woman who's still hurt from her last relationship. You as a man might still be hurting from your last relationship. Relationships on the rebound are the worst types of relationships. So the only way you can really find out, rather than cut yourself off, this is for women, of course, rather than cut yourself off from the dating scene, if a man is honest and he is who he says he is, and he has a genuine interest for you, he will be patient. He's not going to be put off when you say, I need time to get to know you. These men that try to rush you into a relationship, be careful. The ones that come in, seeming almost perfect. Most of them are narcissists. But you just have to be careful and be patient and not jump in head first and then find out you've made a big financial mistake and an emotional mistake afterwards. Because time is the master. People can't keep up a show for very long, although some people keep it up for years. And there's nothing you can do about that. But if you watch and you observe and you monitor behaviors and look for consistency and normally when men tell you something, it's not malicious. They kind of do it off the cuff. It's like, oh, how do I respond to that answer? When she says, oh, why did you finish with your last girlfriend? You're not going to say because she called me bloody mean, or because I never used to help her out, or because I used to beat her. They're not going to say that, because what kind of advertisement is that? But over time, when you're watching their behavior, you're watching how they speak to you, and never ever get into a relationship with someone you have not had an argument with and somebody you haven't set boundaries with. Because only when you set boundaries as a woman can you see how men react to those boundaries. And when you say no, or when you stand your ground, or when you say to them, look, I know you don't like it when I see my friend, but I'm still going to see her because I've been seeing her for the past 10 years for lunch, and we go for lunch every Saturday. What is the reaction? And these are the ways, without questioning someone, without trying to catch them out, without scrutinizing them. Because nobody wants to feel as though they're under the microscope when you're dating. Nobody wants to be interrogated, male or female. But time, like I said, is the master. Time will betray those people who are pretending, those people who are lying, because they don't remember the lies they told. When you tell the truth, you don't need a good memory. When you tell lies, you do. And so, therefore, when you're going into a relationship, like I'm saying to these women who've kind of said, nah, men are liars, they're dogs, they're this and that, I can't deal with them. No, you have to have a different attitude. You have to say, okay, not all men are bad. Yes, we all have our idiosyncrasies. We all have parts of ourselves that are not too great. But it doesn't mean you get written off. It just means you try to work with people whose main foundation is stable and whose main mindset has a spiritual base and who come from a place of integrity, even though they make mistakes. We're not looking for people who play you. But over time, you can see how consistent someone's behavior is. And this applies to women as well. Men look for consistency in women. But because I'm a woman, I'm talking to women out there who may feel, nah, I can't deal with it. It's too much work. And it is a lot of work. But sometimes it's worth it. And that's all I've got to say for now. Take care. Bye-bye.